Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Kelsey Anderson trolls dad's Golden Bachelorette striptease. Mark Anderson was one of the Golden Bachelorette suitors on the Bear It All for Cancer group date. He shared his daughter's trolling reaction to him stripping down. The fan-favorite contestant also shared an unexpected secret on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. Kelsey Anderson's dad is a huge Swiftie, though not as much as Jen Tran. Mark Anderson trolled by daughter after Golden Bachelorette striptease. Sexy knows no age. That's the message the Golden Bachelorette sent in the latest episode. Joan Vassos took some of her suitors on a group date that required them to perform stripteases. The men were given pointers from the real-life Chippendales. The professional male dancers shows the reality stars some moves that are sure to get the blood flowing. The date wasn't just for entertainment purposes, though. The men were part of the Stand Up to Cancer initiative. But seeing older men striptease on TV isn't for everyone, and especially not for the men's children. Golden Bachelorette fan favorite Mark Anderson took to his Instagram to share his daughter's reaction to the racy date. A voice can be heard saying, Dad, as camera zooms into Mark's performance as a firefighter. Guest star Caitlin Bristow declared Kelsey Anderson's dad a DILF. "I don't know, but that almost sounded a little judgmental to me," he captioned the video. Many of his fans commented on Kelsey trolling her dad's striptease. Kelsey Anderson clears the air. Kelsey Anderson took to the comments to defend her reaction, but it wasn't her reacting. She revealed that it was actually her sister sounding embarrassed by their dad. "PSA, my dad has other kids, ha ha ha, this is my sister Jordan." The Anderson kids weren't the only ones disturbed by the thought of their dads as Chippendale dancers. Pascal Ivgy shared his daughter's horrified reaction. Kelsey Anderson sat at her kitchen table, phone in hand, scrolling through her social media feed when a headline caught her eye. Golden Bachelorette contestant performs striptease to win over Bachelorette. Her eyes widened, and an unmistakable pang of curiosity hit her. She tapped the link and was greeted with a clip of none other than her father, Don Anderson, in the middle of a risque routine on the Golden Bachelorette. The video showed Don, a man in his early 60s, but with the vitality of someone far younger, sporting a tuxedo that he slowly stripped away in front of a cheering audience. The music was lively, the lights dimmed, and the camera zoomed in on his bright grin. He seemed to be having the time of his life. Kelsey nearly choked on her coffee as she watched her dad shimmy out of his jacket, throwing it to the floor with a theatrical flair. His dance wasn't quite polished, he lacked the coordination of a professional, but that made it all the more entertaining. He was completely in his element, unashamed and unafraid. The women watching in the audience were laughing, cheering, and some were even fanning themselves dramatically. It wasn't just a dance, it was a statement, and Don knew exactly what he was doing. Kelsey, however, was mortified. She dropped her phone onto the table and covered her face with her hands. "Why, Dad? Why?" Just as she was about to bury herself under a mountain of blankets, an idea sparked in her mind. If her dad was going to put on a show, why shouldn't she get in on the fun? After all, he was making headlines, and Kelsey had always had a knack for making light of awkward situations. This called for some good old-fashioned trolling. With a mischievous grin, Kelsey grabbed her phone again and opened her Instagram app. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen, typing out a post that was sure to get some attention. "When you thought the most embarrassing thing your dad could do was wear socks with sandals. But then he decides to strip on national TV. Thanks, Dad, for setting a new bar. Hashtag Golden Bachelorette, hashtag Dadbod Goals, hashtag Nuani Asked for this." The moment she hit post, she could feel the floodgates of comments and likes opening. Her phone immediately buzzed with notifications from friends, family, and even some of her dad's fans who had grown fond of his quirky antics on the show. The internet loved it. People shared her post, adding their own jokes and memes about Don's dance moves. One meme showed Dawn's face photoshopped onto a Chippendales dancer's body, while another dubbed him the silver fox of seduction. Her phone continued to ping with alerts. Kelsey scrolled through the responses, laughing at some of the hilarious comments. "You should be proud. That man's living his best life. Hey, at least he's confident. Not everyone can pull that off. I'd pay good money for him to dance at my next birthday party. Your dad is a legend. I hope I'm half as fun at that age." And then, of course, came the ones that made her blush for entirely different reasons. Is your dad single? Asking for a friend. Low-key crushing on your dad. He's got moves. Kelsey cringed at those, but couldn't help but chuckle. She knew her dad wouldn't mind the attention, but she'd have to tease him about his newfound fan base. A few hours later, Kelsey's phone rang. It was her dad, and she knew exactly what he wanted to talk about. "Hey, Kels, did you see my performance? Pretty good, huh?" Dawn's voice was full of excitement, and Kelsey could practically hear the grin on his face. "Oh, I saw it all right," Kelsey replied, trying to keep a straight face. "You know, I've been getting marriage proposals for you from women on the internet. You've gone viral, Dad." "Well, I'll be darned," Dawn laughed heartily. "Tell them I'm flattered, but the only woman I'm dancing for is the Bachelorette herself." Kelsey rolled her eyes. "Seriously though, Dad, a striptease? Did you lose a bet?" Dawn chuckled. "Nope, just having a little fun. They wanted something memorable, so I gave them memorable." "Memorable is one word for it," Kelsey said, shaking her head. "I've never seen you dance like that in my life." "That's because you haven't been watching closely enough," he teased. "I've always had moves, just saving them for the right moment." Kelsey couldn't help but laugh. Her dad's enthusiasm was contagious, even when it embarrassed her to no end. "Well, you certainly made an impression. Half the internet is in love with you now." "Good. Maybe I'll be the next big thing," Dawn joked. "Who knows? Maybe I'll start a dance tour for seniors." "Please don't," Kelsey replied, still grinning. "I think the world has seen enough for now." As the days went on, Dawn's performance continued to gain traction online. Kelsey's Instagram post became a hub for memes, comments, and jokes about her dad's newfound fame. People were making TikToks of themselves imitating his dance moves, and some were even calling for Dawn to get his own spin-off show. But through it all, Kelsey knew one thing. Her dad was just being himself, and that's what made it all so endearing. He didn't care about what people thought, and that kind of confidence was rare. While she might be cringing now, deep down, Kelsey admired him for it. One evening, as Kelsey sat down to watch the latest episode of The Golden Bachelorette with a group of friends, she found herself laughing along with the rest of them. Her dad's antics were becoming the highlight of the show, and as much as she wanted to pretend she was embarrassed, she was proud of him in her own way. After all, not every dad would have the guts to dance like no one's watching, especially when millions of people actually are.